Counter space is fiercely contested real estate. Every time you bring a new appliance into the kitchen, you trade away your actual working area. That trade-off has become especially difficult with air fryers. The market has fractured into dozens of different sizes, leaving most of us guessing how much capacity we actually need to feed our households. This bar chart graphs the current landscape. On the low end, tiny 2-quart models force you to cook dinner in 3 separate annoying batches. On the high end, 10-quart dual ovens require you to practically remodel your kitchen just to store them. That leaves us with the messy middle. The persistent question is whether a mid-sized unit can actually produce enough food for a family meal without monopolizing the counter. To find out, we are looking at the COSORI TurboBlaze 6-quart. It claims to solve this exact volume-to-space problem. We aren't going to show you generic footage of golden brown chicken nuggets. We are objectively evaluating its physical footprint, its thermal architecture, and whether its smart features genuinely reduce workflow friction. You should know up front that this machine trades simple analog dials for high-velocity heat and digital integration. That is a specific workflow that won't suit every cook. Ultimately, we are calculating whether this specific machine generates enough utility to mathematically earn a permanent spot on your counter. The physical reality of most kitchens is that you have about 18 inches of vertical clearance under standard upper cabinets and limited lateral width next to your stove or sink. To measure efficiency, this quadrant chart maps the physical space an appliance consumes against the total volume of food it can output in a single session. The TurboBlaze targets the upper left quadrant, designed to deliver high food volume while consuming minimal lateral counter space. Looking at the dimensions, it stays under 12 inches wide, letting you slot it next to a blender. However, at over 14 inches deep, you'll likely have to drag the unit forward to fully remove the basket without scraping your upper cabinets. Inside, this top-down view shows the impact of a square basket. By eliminating rounded corners, the floor plan maximizes usable surface area, easily fitting a dense 4-pound whole chicken. The spatial limitation here is width. While you can pack in dense proteins or a mountain of vegetables, the 6-quart square shape physically cannot accommodate wide, circular items like a standard frozen pizza. The spatial math is clear. If you routinely cook dense meals for 3 to 4 people, the internal volume works perfectly. If you want a wide-format baking replacement, this shape fails the test. Moving from the chassis to the engine, we have to look at the heating system. COSORI markets the TurboBlaze as a significant leap in cooking velocity. They achieve this by pairing the heating element with a much higher speed fan than older models, rapidly forcing hot air down into the basket. These cooking times show the practical result. Pushing maximum fan speed drops a batch of French fries to 8 minutes and cooks shrimp in 6. But that speed introduces immediate friction. If you take a standard air fryer recipe from the internet and run it in this machine without reducing the time or temperature, you are going to burn your food. The secondary claim is that this aggressive airflow actually solves the most common air fryer complaint, uneven cooking. This split screen shows our baseline. Older generations struggle pushing air into square corners, resulting in cold spots seen on the right. The upgraded motor creates a consistent vortex, resolving cold zones and yielding the uniform browning shown on the left. There is a physical downside to that velocity. Lightweight ingredients, like thin spinach leaves or unweighted sheets of parchment paper, will literally catch the updraft and blow straight into the exposed heating coil, causing smoke. The thermal hardware delivers on its promise of faster, more even cooking, but it requires you to actively recalibrate your existing recipes and carefully weight down light ingredients. A fast appliance is only useful if it doesn't create administrative headaches during a busy Tuesday night dinner. We need to look at how you actually interact with it. This flowchart tracks your time. The traditional method requires you to stay nearby, physically checking progress. The connected ecosystem aims to offload that monitoring. The unit connects to your home Wi-Fi, allowing you to trigger preheating, adjust temperatures, and receive completion alerts remotely. Looking at the interface, you can route these controls through the VSync smartphone app, or link them directly to Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant for hands-free voice commands while you're prepping other ingredients. If you don't run a smart home, this is a negative. You are paying a premium for integrated Wi-Fi chips and app development that you will never use, and the initial network setup is a chore you'll want to skip entirely. However, the physical workflow features built into the hardware provide value even if you never download the app. This sequence shows the autopause function. When you pull the basket mid-cook to shake your vegetables, the heating element instantly cuts power. Shove it back in, and it immediately resumes the timer. No manual button presses required. Regarding cleanup, COSORI labels the basket in Presper plate as dishwasher safe. While technically true, running non-stick surfaces through harsh dishwasher detergents daily will degrade the coating significantly faster than a quick hand wash in a sink. The Smart app might keep you on the couch a little longer, but the responsive hardware and seamless auto pause are what actually strip friction out of your cooking routine. So, does the TurboBlaze belong on your counter? Let's break down exactly who this is built for. This machine is a highly optimized kitchen engine. It trades the simplicity of an analog dial for aggressive cooking speeds and connected tracking. Let's map out the final decision on this scorecard. First, it's an ideal match for the busy family cook. If you need to generate high volumes of food for 3 or 4 people quickly, but you don't have the lateral counter width for a dual basket system, the 6-quart square design solves your problem. Second, it's perfect for the smart home optimizer. If you actively use voice assistants and want to monitor cook times from another room, you'll actually utilize the tech you're paying for. On the other side, this is a clear mismatch for single individuals or couples who only heat small portions. You will overpay for capacity and power you simply do not need. Finally, pass on this if you hate digital learning curves. If you want a machine with 2 physical knobs, one for heat, one for time, this digital interface will just frustrate you. Before you click buy, take a tape measure to your under-cabinet clearance, check your tolerance for smart apps, and make sure your daily cooking routine actually demands this level of speed.